Have I been taking crazy pills? Well, we're going to try to talk about that and more on today's episode of the Geek Watch podcast.
This is the Geek Watch podcast with Brian Hatcher and Mandy Petrie.
Greetings, Geek Watchers, and welcome to episode 258 of the Geek Watch podcast. I'm Brian Hatcher, and with me, as always, Geek Watch's very own resident geek goddess, Mandy Petrie.
Hello, Brian.
And so this will most likely be the last Geek Watch podcast for the year. Because
2025.
Yes. And what a weird 2025 it has been. I do want to hit a few things that have been happening over the course of the last month or so as we put to bed 2025 and are preparing for 2026. It's been pretty weird out there. It certainly has. Right off the bat, let's talk about the whole Warner Brothers thing. I don't know how much you keep into the news, but Warner Brothers is desperately trying to sell themselves to somebody. Netflix wound up winning the bidding war.
I did know about that.
Yes.
And
Netflix has basically said that one of the things they want to do, specifically because obviously the center of the universe is Mandy Petrie, and what makes Mandy Petrie happy is what we should be doing. They want to get things on television a lot quicker. They want to get things out of the theaters quickly, which is exactly what you wanted, and they got the memo. Although obviously movie theaters are not cool with that at all.
Right.
If you're just going to be out for a month and then it's going to be on TV, why bother?
Yeah.
A lot of studios are worried about that. And of course, people worried about Warner Brothers, specifically how not just what is going to be coming out in the future, but also their back catalog. But then again, Netflix has had some serious successes, mostly in the television side of things.
Correct.
Certainly the whole deal with Stranger Things has been a huge excitement. And along with the new season of Legend of Vox Machina, I have been watching season 1 of The Mighty Nein, which has been a bit of a culture shock for some people who are used to Vox Machina.
It has it.
Yeah.
It's much darker.
It is a very darker. And episode 5 specifically, where they go into Caleb's backstory and people were hurt to their soul.
Oh.
Again, no
now that
spoilers.
is an Amazon show, is not? Okay, all right.
Yeah, that's an Amazon show.
Okay.
That's the thing. It's like Amazon's done well with their stuff.
Right.
And then, of course, Stranger Things and Netflix. Welcome to Derry.
That's on HBO.
Yeah, that's an HBO. The It prequel.
Yes.
I don't want to go into a whole lot.
It's a prequel.
Yeah, well, it is, but it's not because things. But we won't go into the whole time travel part of it. I don't think it's too much of a spoiler, but one thing that they explained about Pennywise is that he's not bound to time the way mortals like we are. And so he lives in the past, present, and future simultaneously, even though stuff that he's doing in season 1 is in the past. He knows what's going to happen to him in the future, and it plays into what's going on. I can't really explain that more than to go into spoilers and all, but
You can't really explain it because Stephen King was on cocaine. We're trying, and the writers are trying, and Stephen King is trying to make sense of his cocaine-driven plot lines retroactively.
That's the thing, too, is that for a lot of horror writers, I mean, we are all pretty much beholden to H.P. Lovecraft, and so there's always that part of us that wants to go cosmic. And that's certainly a part of the cosmic, the ritual of Chud and the turtle and all of that. There's a lot of that ties into Welcome to Derry. They're exploring a lot of the cosmic side of things more.
Okay.
And so there's a lot of references to different things. You basically have the Shining reference in there.
Yes.
Because you have one character in there who's a character in The Shining.
Yes.
And
when I was watching it with my sisters, I pointed out, it was like, that's from The Shining.
Yeah.
They are doing what they're known for in The Shining.
Yeah, exactly. Like I say, there's a lot of good television out there. Maybe one of the best praised pieces of television out there right now. And here we start sinking into some weird stuff is The War Between the Land and the Sea, the Doctor Who spinoff. there's a lot of good things that are being said about this show. They said it's probably the best thing out of all of the Doctor Who stuff.
I haven't seen it.
Of course not, because you're an American.
Oh, is it not here? Okay.
No,
I
it's
did not.
not.
Oh, so I'll have to illegally see it, is what you're saying.
Everybody right now who's American has to illegally see it.
Okay.
Because
Which
Disney,
I would never do.
Yeah, there you go. But Disney decided we're just going to wait till 2026 maybe, although they've not really given a date on it. But the thing is, it's like everybody else is seeing it. And of course, there's going to be spoilers for it. And I got to tell you, I'm starting to wonder if Disney is going to show it.
Huh.
They say sometime in 2026, we'll put it out there. But you already got it and you paid for it already.
Mhm.
What's the point? Just put it out there.
Right.
What's it like, flipping a switch?
Uh-huh.
I know it's on the server somewhere.
We're all excited about Zootopia 2, but you
Yeah.
can take a few minutes to upload some
Yeah. And
episodes.
apparently, I've been trying to avoid stuff online, even though there's been some reactions to things. I've been told this may be the best of the Doctor Who stuff that's out there,
Okay.
even though the Doctor's not in it.
Uh-huh.
They said that this is more serious,
Ooh,
it-
more Torchwood-like.
more Torchwood-like.
Okay.
And because of that, it has a gravitas to it that Doctor Who over the last couple seasons hasn't had. And not to say that everything needs to be all serious, because obviously Peacemaker wasn't at all. Even
But still
though,
great.
how much of it have you seen?
I haven't seen much of it at all.
Well, a minor spoiler, and because I've leaned on this before, but they take an episode of Doctor Who and did it better than Doctor Who did it.
Okay.
They took literally a page out of Doctor Who's book, and I think under the circumstance, I was actually thinking about just coming out and saying it, but I think I'm just going to hold off just a little bit longer on that. Maybe next year we'll discuss it. But
All right.
yeah, there was an entire episode of Doctor Who that uses the same twist that they do in Peacemaker. And unfortunately, Peacemaker did it better, I feel. Again, there's a lot of good TV that's out there, and there's a lot of excitement for stuff that's coming in the near future in 2026. I'm going to do air quotes here for leak because I'm not sure the full truth about this, but the trailer for Avengers Doomsday leaked recently.
Oh.
Now, I don't know if it leaked or air quotes leaked as in
Or was
Deadpool.
it spilled?
Yeah. Is this a
Leaked
Deadpool
or was
leak
it
or was
spilled?
this a leak? I don't know. It would surprise me if it was a planned leak because Disney and Marvel, they don't tend to do stuff like that.
Uh-huh.
Although they definitely need to start building some excitement. Like I said, I've been trying to avoid a whole bunch of spoilers. There was one that I couldn't avoid, which was we do get to see Steve and Peggy's son. Although we know for sure that this child is not going to be a part of the Young Avengers because the Young Avengers are dead in the water. It's gone. They're not even going to bother to do it anymore.
Boo.
It's gotten killed, but mostly because they have waited so long for this. Most of the characters that were going to be in Young Avengers are not young people anymore. Haley Stanfield is about ready to have a child, and she's turning 30. And I'm trying to remember who else was in this.
Well, they can still be the Avengers Next Generation. They don't need to be the Young Avengers.
Yeah.
And 30's not that old.
Yeah. I guess it is if you're wanting to do a teen show. But yeah, they're not teenagers anymore. And so.
But the Supergirl trailer came out.
Yes.
And doesn't that look like Guardians of the Galaxy?
Yeah.
That looks fantastic.
It does look fantastic.
Uh-huh.
Now, that's something that I was talking a little bit about the whole deal with Warner Brothers, but Paramount apparently is trying to do a hostile takeover to try to get Warner Brothers, offering to buy stock so that they can prevent the Netflix sale so they can get it for cheaper.
What?
Yeah. Now, the thing about the whole
Wow.
Paramount deal is that there are people worried that because of certain things in Paramount and some capitulations that they've done politically, because they were dealing with another deal that they needed approval for that they were able to get. But there was this concern that if Paramount ever got their hands on Warner Brothers, the first thing they were going to do is kill the whole DC universe. They would get rid of James Gunn because politically speaking, there's some people who don't like him. And by political, I'm not talking about Hollywood. I'm talking about actual politics.
Right.
And so there was that concern, but then people were like, thank goodness they didn't get their hands on him, because even though Netflix and the thought of this monopoly that's developing is not a good idea, generally it's much better
Right.
that Netflix is getting them. But now you got Paramount, Skydance trying this hostile takeover. And so here we are. Is this new DC universe about ready to collapse? We don't know. Here's the thing, though. I did really like the trailer for Supergirl. I like the little hint of Lobo that we got in the trailer. I do like the Guardians of the Galaxy feel to it. And I like this idea of Supergirl kind of being an anti-hero type that makes her different than Superman, which in the comics, she is a little bit different, but this is a stronger D mark, which I like. I will say, however, that I am a little bit leery about the fact that James Gunn seems to be involved in every part of DC's projects. Don't get me wrong, I love me some James Gunn. I love what he does. But part of the strength of what he did with Marvel was it wasn't just him.
Right.
You know, you had the Russos and you had, other directors and writers. And so you weren't hitting the same note over and over again.
You had everything from Shakespearean directors to these grungy directors to these.
Oh, yeah. Taika Waititi and things like that. And so the thing about it is, even if you're trying to do different things, if you're just one person being creative, you're going to tend to hit the same notes over and over again. We look at what James Gunn has done so far. You had the Creature Commandos, and you've got Peacemaker, and you've got Superman. I mean, they were all their different projects, but they were all humorous to some degree. They were definitely James Gunn products. And I really feel that if DC is going to expand their universe and they're going to be able to do great things, you're going to want some different flavors in there. You're going to want to mix
voices.
Yeah, some different voices and mix things up. I understand right now that may not be possible, but I'm hoping that they are going to be able to get the chance to expand sometime next year. We're not going to have James Gunn kicked out again, and then suddenly Warner Brothers is doing whatever it is Warner Brothers is doing. I think right now, and this has been for a while, Hollywood has been like really confused about what the heck they should be doing. You've got Universal at this point trying to figure out how to make wicked sequels.
Which I'm all for. They'll have to change the story, but I trust in them.
Yeah, the thing is, if they bring in Winnie Holtzman and Steven Schwartz and they're willing to add to the canon, that's fine. You're not going to be able to lean on the books that much because with
so different.
Yeah, they're different. And that's the thing about the screenplay for the movie based off of the musical, a stage production, and not as much based off of the books.
If you're going to base something off the book, you need to do something completely different. It needs to be a series. It needs to be R-rated. It needs to be like on HBO.
Yeah,
it needs to
be. The books are definitely a little more hardcore. But that's the thing. If you're a fan of the stage production and the movies, as dark as the second movie started to dip, it did get a little bit darker. And some people were like, oh, that's a little bit darker. I don't know. I think there's a limit to where you can go. I think if you're a fan of the movies, stage play, I think there's a certain level where you're like, I don't want grim, dark, wicked. I just don't, Maybe I'm wrong about that. But it's like Hollywood is once again cannibalizing itself. We're getting to a place now where there's a lot of good television out there, and we get the opportunity to watch a lot of it. Not all of it, obviously. Thank you, Disney Plus, for that. But we're getting to a place now where we're having to pick and choose what we watch. We can't obviously watch everything that's out there, but that means that there's just going to be quality television out there that you just don't have time for.
Right.
And that's the strange irony of it all. Because we've all wanted good geek television and movies. We've wanted it, and we're getting it now. But now we're standing in front of the damn fire hose, and we're getting blasted in the face with it.
When did that come out? I missed that one.
Yeah, yes. Exactly. But then if you are someone producing television, how do you judge what's going to be successful and what isn't? There's no guarantee that quality television will always have a place because...
because Netflix has hundreds of quality shows that lasted one season that everyone's still mad about.
Yeah, exactly. They'll just
cut it right off. Yes.
And that's going to be the other thing too, is a lot of the good television that we've gotten from Warner Brothers, like Peacemaker and Creature Commandos. What does that look like on Netflix? When does that wind up getting killed? Because that's definitely the thing that I'm not going to keep bringing up Santa Clarita Diet because I know you're still pissed about.
Still upset.
Still hating on that, and I get it because
they could give us a comic book to resolve it. That would be nice.
Or something.
Chaos. Oh my gosh, chaos.
Yeah. So a lot of good quality television is just going to get left by the wayside. There's just too much of it. It's an embarrassment of riches. And perhaps one day when all this stuff collapses and streaming services stop buying each other and the prices stop going up, because they're getting more and more expensive. And HBO Max is going to wind up being absorbed by somebody. After all the chaos is over, however many years that takes for that to happen, and everybody's gotten tired of trying to produce superhero television and geek television, at least we'll have a backlog of stuff that we can still watch. Assuming that we'll still be able to watch it, it'll be out there. Will it be? Well, I don't know, but I guess we'll see.
We shall see.
And with that said, we come to the end of episode 258 and the end of 2025. Thank you for listening, and tune in next year for the latest in geek news and views and craziness with the Geek Watch podcast. For Mandy Petrie, this is Brian Hatcher, reminding all the Geek Watchers out there, we're all geeky about something. Be proud of yours. See you next time.
Thank you for listening to the Geek Watch podcast. If you enjoyed this program, don't forget to like and subscribe on your preferred platform and share this podcast on your social media. For links to all the ways you can listen to the Geek Watch podcast, as well as leave comments and suggestions, visit our website at geekwatch.net. The Geek Watch podcast is a Hanging J production.